Millions of people are desperate in Puerto Rico. More than 1 week after Hurricane Maria crippled the U.S. territory, nearly half of the island still does not have drinking water. Power, food, fuel, and money are also in short supply. And if you do find one of those necessities down there, you're going to have to wait in a long line to get it.
What we are seeing right now is the biggest event of devastation in the modern history of Puerto Rico. It's a perfect storm, if you will.
Right now, you don't have a home.
No, exactly. I don't have a home right now.
It's desperation. People just start getting antsy and crazy, and you can't reach anybody, and you go to the airport and they're telling you this flight, that flight, you get canceled 5 times. You literally cannot get off this island.
There's no air conditioning at the airport. They're giving out fans. You see people fanning themselves and their young children and their parents. It is suffocating to be here.
This morning, President Trump waived the Jones Act, cutting through shipping red tape and hopefully enabling food and supplies to get to the island faster. But that is just one hurdle. Getting them from the port to the people is a lot harder than expected. We've got reporters on the ground. Let's start with CNBC's Contessa Brewer, who is in the port of San Juan, where thousands of containers are stuck. Contessa, what is the problem?
So, Katie, part of the problem is that there are lines of ships loaded with cargo out in the harbor waiting to unload. In fact, there's 1,000 containers on these ships. You can see this ship is docked now at Crowley, one of the biggest shippers in Puerto Rico. The trucks are unloading it, but there's nowhere left to put these containers. They're at the very last bit of space, way over capacity. In part, they say, because there's no diesel that can get the semi-truck drivers in here to pick up the containers and move them along. Crowley itself is running on generator power, 4,000 gallons of diesel every single day to run the operations here, to keep those generators running that keep the refrigerated units cold. And that is the case all over the island. Fuel, and especially diesel, in desperate supply shortage. And the trucking companies, if they can get a hold of these drivers by cell phone, the drivers then need to get gasoline in their cars so they can get to work. When they get to work, if they can get to work, they need to get into their trucks, which they need to have diesel to do. Because of all this backload, the cargo containers here, 10,000 of them, Katie, stuck in the port of San Juan. Those supplies are not getting to the people who desperately need them.
Contessa, what is the workaround for that? Does the military need to come in and just take over the distribution of this across the island? Do you need to get fuel in there first? How do you start to get this line of aid moving again?
It's a great question. It's the question that everyone's asking. But there's no magic solution to distributing fuel. The Department of Defense is here on site. It's working closely with FEMA on logistics, along with the governor of Puerto Rico and the mayors of Puerto Rico. They're tackling it. We watched FEMA making fuel deliveries a priority, driving fuel container trucks off of this yard and to the places that desperately need it. But because the supply chain is broken, because cell phones are down, because roads are still blocked in some cases, and power lines are down, it's just an issue of this logistical circle that needs to be repaired in whole. And by the way, you heard Brock Long telling earlier on MSNBC saying we got to make do with the truck drivers that we have on the island, because getting more truck drivers from the mainland, as some are requesting and some are asking, but there's limited slots at the airport. They have a very limited number of flights coming in every day, and they're bringing not only in emergency management personnel, but doctors and nurses and other people who are desperately needed for the recovery effort.
You know, and that's probably the last thing people want to hear, that there's a logistical issue that's not allowing those ships that are in the harbor to get the supplies that are on those ships to the port. And then the stuff that's just sitting in those containers behind you, Contessa, to the people who desperately need it in Puerto Rico. Remember, there are hospitals that don't have power. There are people that can't refrigerate things like their insulin. You can't get the medical need the medical help you need. Water is running low on all parts of the island. Food is running low. People are basically at a standstill because they don't have fuel in their own cars to get around. So I think hearing that they don't know how to fix the logistical chain is probably greatly frustrating. Contessa Brewer, CNBC's
and it's probably
Contessa,
not that they don't know how to. Yeah. Hey, Kate, it's just not that they don't know how to. It just takes time to do it. They're working on it. And there's probably nobody better in the world at logistics than the U.S. military. They're here. Yeah. It takes time. And patience is in short supply.
Absolutely. And sometimes you don't frankly just don't have that much time when you're in desperate need of medical help or medical supplies or insulin or things like that. Contessa Brewer, thank you so much, and good luck down there, my friend.
Sure.
And as supplies come in, people are trying to get out. They're trying to leave the island. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has been with people waiting to get on board a cruise ship that's going to bring them to Florida.
Hey there, Katie. Good afternoon. We're here in the cruise port in San Juan, where hundreds of people have gathered in the sweltering heat to make it on a cruise ship and evacuate here in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. As we walk down this line, we can see just how many people have gathered here. It extends all the way back there. It's the Royal Caribbean Adventure of the Seas, which, as you can see, is right there. And it got to port yesterday and is expected to leave at some point today and then make a stop in St. Croix as well as St. Thomas, on its way to the U.S. mainland. Now, we've been speaking with many people here, and they have desperately wanted to evacuate. Many of them are American tourists that have been here since the beginning of the storm. Others are Puerto Rican residents who want to move to the U.S. mainland because the aftermath has been so difficult here in Puerto Rico. And I'm here joined by your name, ma'am, Cynthia?
Cynthia is my name. Yes.
So you are from Puerto Rico, and you're trying to move with your family to the U.S. mainland. How difficult have the past few days been?
Well, it has been very, very difficult. Puerto Rico is devastated because of this hurricane, but we have seen so much cooperation from everybody. But for me, it's better. It's very, very bittersweet. I'm leaving my brother, my sister, my nephews, and a lot of family that I know they are here looking forward to move Puerto Rico and their families.
How difficult was the decision to evacuate?
It was very difficult, but my daughter told me, Mom, you have to come. This has been an island that has been economically in a very bad situation for the last years. And now with this hurricane, together with the economic situation, if the federal government does not help us, we are not going any place. And this is an island that I think we deserve Puerto Rico, their people, and all of us, that we are here to make it.
Thank you, Cynthia, so much for talking to us. We really do appreciate it, and I wish you safe travels. I hope you make it to the U.S. mainland just fine. So thank you so much. So, Katie, some of these travelers, it'll be a couple days before they make it to the U.S. mainland, sometime next week after those other stops we're talking about. But we've been seeing the lines at the airport for the last few days. Now here, waiting to get onto this cruise ship. Hundreds of people in a desperate situation to evacuate. Katie, back to you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.